I'm joined now by comedian Isaac Butterfield, who has kicked off his 2024 World Tour in Australia. In 2 days, he'll be at the Capitol Theatre in Bendigo. You can grab your tickets now, but be quick because he sells out very quickly indeed. He's not only funny, but he is one of the best at handling hecklers.
1 year to the day since I did my last show.
Been a while.
Shut your mouth, woman. I remember you. How do I remember you? Where do I know you from? Kim. I remember we had quite a weird interaction. You made an absolute yourself. Everyone in the room hated you. You left. We thought you perished. We celebrated, and yet your return has come.
Hey, Isaac Butterfield, welcome to the program. Your crowd work is very good. It's very important these days for stand-up, isn't it, the crowd work?
Yeah, it certainly is. It gets this new audience in that have never seen stand-up before. And that right there, that poor woman, she's been to
You were so mean to her. She wasn't even a heckler.
I am one of the worst people alive. I'll tell you that right now, Rita. But it's fun. It's a good time to get involved with the crowd. And they come along, and it's funny, you know, the people who sit in the front rows, they pay the most for the tickets, and they're the most interested, and they're the first to buy. And then I go out there and I'm like that, horrible and mean. And it's just part of it. It's what keeps it fun and new for me. Because I go out every night and I do similar material and I'm working on new bits and preparing for a special. But to go out there and find someone to ruin their day, that's what makes it fun.
They love it. They all want to be part of those viral clips. They love it. Now, you've not only got a world tour, but you've got a book, which I'm very interested in, because the title alone, Better Man, a manifesto on modern masculinity. Now, that's going to trigger people right then and there.
Immediately.
Are you our Jordan Peterson?
Maybe a horrifically bogan version of Jordan Peterson. No, not at all. I didn't want to write, I didn't want to write something that was trying to make me look like I was writing a biography. I'm only 30. I know it looks like I'm a bit older. There's a harsh wind where I live. Nonetheless, it's important for younger people to understand that, particularly when they come from 16 years old to a little bit older, that those years, the formative years, they're going to encounter a lot of different problems, issues, and different ideas. And this book isn't so much this, a lot of people are saying, oh, this is a far-right comedian saying this. Not at all. In fact, a lot of the opinions you probably see in this book are very much in the middle.
Oh.
There's the first chapter is all about mental health. There's a chapter in the middle about marrying your best friend, which I did with my wife, and we get along like a house on fire and have done for 10 years. There's a chapter about my son when he was born and what, you go through mentally to prepare for that.
Yeah.
And there's also me being a horrible person in there as well. Don't worry about that. But it's important, I think, for young dudes to not just hear these things on the building site or in the footy club or wherever they happen to be, wherever they get their information from, to receive it from someone who's gone out and done all these shows and travelled the world and met these people and done these things.
And still young and relatable, because you appeal to that demographic very strongly. I've got a 17-year-old son, so I know that. Do you think there is a crisis in masculinity in not just Australia, but the West? We have boys growing up just hearing negative messages, the toxic masculinity, they're going to be this, they're going to be that. And I do wonder what the impact that has on their psyche as they grow into young men.
There's definitely horrible men, but to say that masculinity is inherently toxic is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You would never say that about mean women being toxic, feminine people.
Yeah.
I think it's just one of those buzzwords that gets thrown around and they don't see the damage that it does. Like, dudes can deal with it, older men can deal with it, but we are seeing a distinct line in the sand at younger people's preschools, wherever they happen to be, or kindergartens. It's the boys versus the girls. These boys are going to grow up to be these horrible people, and it's just not the case.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that creates an enemy between these two genders, one of the many, or two of the many genders. And
there are so many genders.
There are so many